Okay, so in class today we started looking at some of our two-dimensional shapes, and we're going to start dealing a lot with areas and volumes and surface areas over the next few days. But we're going to start with three basic ones: triangles, trapezoids, and parallelograms. So we're looking at our triangles. Our formula today for calculating the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times the height. All right, very simple formula. All we have to do, our job here, just get things plugged into the right places and make our calculations. So base, most of the time we associate the base with the bottom. Not always, but we can. So the base of our triangle here is 8. And the height of our triangle, remember we discussed in class today, the number one thing, base must be perpendicular to the height. All right, that is a major rule. Okay, as far as calculating slants go, as far as calculating areas go, we want to stay away from using slanted distances. All right, so as far as the area goes, 6 and 16, not going to be any help to us because they are slants. So our height, base and height have to be perpendicular. So 8, the perpendicular distance to the top of this triangle is 5. So that is our height. 1/2 times 8 times 5, 20 square centimeters. Same thing as far as our parallelogram goes. Little bit different formula, just base times height. Okay, again, this is not much different than a rectangle here. All right, so rectangle is length times width, parallelogram, base times height. Again, the important rule to remember here, base and height perpendicular, straight up and down to each other. So for this particular problem, 16 can be our base, therefore our height needs to be 3, so we get 48 square centimeters. 48 square centimeters. Pretty simple formula. So those are two formulas you will use tonight. Okay, third formula, the trapezoid. The trapezoid. Okay, by now you probably have noticed that as far as our formulas go, base times height, base times height. We got a theme going here, base and height. Okay, base and height need to be perpendicular to each other, but the trick with the trapezoid is our height is going to be perpendicular down here, and it's also going to be perpendicular up here. It's perpendicular to both bases. Okay, a trapezoid has both bases. They're both unique. Okay, they're not the same. So in our formula, we have to compensate for that. So we have to make sure we add both of the bases together, base 1 plus base 2, and then multiply by our height. And again, that is because our height, perpendicular to this base, perpendicular to the base down here. Okay, so again, this is one of those situations we were talking about where we don't want to get caught up on the fact that the base is always on the bottom. This is a base. These two lines are parallel, so they are considered bases here. So now, substitution, base 1 plus base 2 times our height. So now we get 11 times 12, so we get 132. I guess I left units off of this one. I didn't give us any title there, so we'll just 132 square units. Those are the three formulas you will need to use tonight. As always, do the best you can. Bring any questions you have to class tomorrow. Have a good night.